Hello, my name's Cora, and I've got the real privilege of being the Director of Physical Health and Neurodiversity Care Group. Perhaps more importantly, I'm a wife, I'm a mum, and I'm an active carer to a few older relatives. Leading a care group is the most inspiring yet the most challenging role I've had yet. In physical health and neurodiversity, we've got 830 staff delivering care in 43 separate services. We've got close to 2,000 contacts every day, most of them being in the communities where people live. It can feel overwhelming at times, especially when making difficult or unpopular decisions. But every day I get to witness the positive impact that we have on people's lives as we care for them. My favourite emails that come through are the care opinion notifications. Hearing, for example, the impact that Casey and Tim have had on people's lives in our cardiac rehab service, or how Shelley Madison in the ADHD service in Doncaster supports each individual through their diagnosis. Or Bev Garside, Katie Jenkins and our specialist epilepsy nursing team, helping patients and their families feel less alone and more able to cope with their lifelong conditions. I've worked in the NHS for just over 30 years, with 28 of those being in Doncaster. When I joined the organisation as an OT in '96, it was Doncaster Healthcare Trust, so I've seen a lot of change in my time. I've worked with 5 different chief executives, and I'm proud that I've got to work with each of them on different projects individually. Being around for so long, I've also managed to develop a lot of really good professional relationships with people, and it's this that I want to reflect on in this vlog. How do we use relationships that we develop to provide great care to people? And also, how can those relationships really impact our well-being at work? We have a wealth of experience in our clinical services, but we can limit the opportunities to provide true holistic care to people through not working outside of our own service or being bound by rigid criteria. When Sam Edwards, the service manager for palliative care and long-term conditions, Sam Butcher and I visited the wellness centre that's run by PFG, we chatted to people and we heard from Cheryl what the impact of poor access to healthcare for people who are homeless is. This led to Sam working with Susan Batley, the podiatry lead, to develop a podiatry service that's delivered at Wharf House. So far, 15 people have benefited from the service that wouldn't have had treatment if it hadn't have been for that first effort to build relationships. This has then led to a campaign to donate shoes and socks for people in need, which has led to Phil Gowland becoming involved and becoming a huge support to the cause. We have Vicky Hughes, our psychology lead in neurodiversity in Rotherham. She's worked with the community mental health team colleagues to support autism diagnosis for people who are on their caseload through enhanced supervision. She saw an opportunity, she developed the relationships, and she's made a real difference to those people. There are 2 people in occupational therapy who are retiring soon after giving over 70 years of service between them to some of the most physically disabled people in Doncaster. Anne Cohen and Sue Roberts have really demonstrated how building relationships with different people across different organisations, charities and private companies can really help people live their best lives. We have so many different services in our organisation that can help people, so I'd really encourage you to reach out, find out what there is and make some connections. It's not just clinical relationships that are important and impact on patient care. Every member of our organisation can have a positive impact. The team in our purchasing department, for example, they impact every day through getting the right provisions at the right price at the right time. They only know that by developing relationships with key clinicians, admin staff and managers. If we don't have the right equipment, care is going to be impacted. I was chatting to Andy Stringer last week, and he is a prime example of a person in the trust who knows a lot of people. His focus has always been on how estates can support us to care for people. He's taken the time to develop working relationships across the trust, And that's helped him to really understand what care can make a difference. Sam Steeples, who supports with our benchmarking information, has a great relationship with our services. She's taken the time to understand what we do, and then through her work and connections with other organisations, she's helped us make suggestions on how we could make services even better for people. And finally, Sarah Fitzpatrick, our management accountant, has fantastic relationships with all of the managers and really helps us to make every pound we spend count. This means more equipment for patient care and more posts created to care for people. So how can our work relationships impact on well-being? Well, we spend a lot of time at work, and those relationships can make that time fantastic or really challenging. Last month, at our recognition awards, I heard how Anne Brown, who works in North Community Nursing, came in when it snowed in January on her day off because she knew that her colleagues would be really pressurised that day to visit patients. Her thoughtfulness had a significant impact on her colleagues' well-being that day. And it doesn't have to be something so significant like Anne did that day that can make a difference. A smile can really set you up for the day. Moji Mirfakarai, the medical secretary in the Access and Liaison team in Doncaster, is brilliant at always welcoming you with a smile. And whenever I see Charles Ekpanobi from our Parkinson's service, however stressed I've been, I leave the conversation feeling really inspired. Both of these people shine with positivity, and they have a positive impact on the well-being of everyone they meet. Positivity is infectious, as is kindness. Val Thomas from Occupational Therapy always sends me a message on my birthday. We haven't worked together in years, and she doesn't have to, but that kindness has such a positive impact on my day. And kindness can also have an impact on a whole team. At Christmas last year, Steph Langstaff from Community Nursing coordinated a collection across our services to make a small food hamper for every patient that we saw who was going to be alone on Christmas Day. So many people got involved and they loved being part of something so positive. Our single point of access team is always holding events to raise money for charity, raising the team's well-being while doing some really good things for our community. I think that everyone wants to be recognised and appreciated. And the risk of mentioning people in a vlog is that I'll have comments for the next few weeks from people who I haven't mentioned. No matter what job they're in, a thank you or a positive comment has such a huge impact. My job as a director has many aspects, but one of them is to help people shine. So I've purposely mentioned lots of people in this vlog. These people are the people of RDaSH. We are all the people of RDaSH. Get to know different people, build relationships, recognise people's contributions and say thank you to them. You'll really make their day. Thank you.